Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's public information meeting. I just want to start off by saying thank you for your time. My name is Greg Newman. I'm the manager of planning with the City of White Rock, and I'm going to start with a brief introductory presentation before I turn the meeting over to our applicants. So tonight we're here to introduce an application for a Development Variance Permit at 1588 Johnston Road, or the Soleil project. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to introduce you, the public, to the application, to receive your feedback and your questions, and to try to respond to those comments and questions, and to hopefully address any concerns that you may have. It is a live event. It's being presented by the architect at Secozy Architecture Incorporated. City staff, myself are here to support the conversation and facilitate the question and answers. The meeting is being recorded, and we will post the recording to the city's YouTube page. If we get questions and comments a little later that are not appropriate or are not specific to the variances that are being requested, then we will not publish those, so would encourage you to provide all of your comments and questions, but please be respectful and focused on the nature of the application being presented. If you have any additional questions or if any other thoughts come to mind after tonight's public information meeting, please feel free to send me an email with those comments. And I would just note that comments that are received regarding an application form part of a public record, and so those comments may end up being presented to council in a future report. Just for general reference, the subject property is at the southeast corner of North Bluff Road and Johnston Road, sort of on the northern edge of the City of White Rock's town center. The proposal that we're here to discuss tonight is a Development Variance Permit application, which, if approved, would allow for the projection of a rooftop access or a stair tower to go beyond the maximum height of 80.7 meters. The height that's being requested is 82.24 meters, requiring relief of 1.54 meters, or roughly 5 feet. And I'll leave it to the architect Sandro to speak to the project in more details, but this elevation drawing is reflective of the nature of the relief that's being sought. Just for general reference, as I mentioned, the property is in the southeast corner at North Bluff Road and Johnston Street. It's in the town center of the City of White Rock, which is recognized in the official community plan as the hub of commercial and residential activity, places that have employment uses that serve to benefit the broader White Rock community. So with all that, I would like to turn it over to Sandro, our project architect. And I know Sandro has a presentation to provide. We have 5 people attending the meeting at this point, from what I can see. So certainly thank you everyone for joining us. And after the presentation, we'll have an opportunity for questions and comments. And if there are not enough comments, if we still have time left, we can go through the presentation a second time. So Sandro, if you want to share your screen now, I will push it live.
Yeah.
Okay, so your screen is live.
All right. Well, thank you for having me tonight. My name is Sandro Mancini. I'm an architect at Secozy Architecture. And I'm here to present our submission for the Development Variance Permit, the DVP, for the Soleil mixed-use project at the southeast corner of Johnston Road and North Bluff. The project is currently under construction. The project was granted development permit back in May of 2018 with no variances requested at the time. The project was 100% in compliance with White Rock's zoning conditions and area design guidelines. Its zoning is part of the CR1 town center area, commercial residential zone. It falls under the Town Center Development Permit area and the OCP and area design guidelines. It's a maximum allowable FSR is 5.4, which we've met, and the maximum allowable building height for the CR1 zoning is 80.7 meters. Our development variance permit request is for a minor increase to the maximum height to allow a change of access for the 3 penthouse units to their private rooftop decks. So the height increase will be approximately, as Greg said, approximately 1.54 meters, which is 5 feet beyond the maximum allowable zoning height of 80.7 meters. This would increase the maximum height to 82.24 meters, and this would be limited to only the proposed stair vestibules. So there's always been access to these rooftops, but previously at the building permit, which we submitted December 2018, the rooftop access was by way of these roof doors or roof hatches that you can see in this illustration over here. The roof door has typically been an appropriate code compliant mechanism for accessing private rooftops, like the one we've shown here. And this has been used in numerous times on projects throughout the lower mainland and around the world for that matter. But as of recently, within the last year or so, this has become less acceptable in the Vancouver area, as is also the case in White Rock. This change in acceptability came because of instances where individuals have injured themselves navigating the stairs, thresholds, landings from their roof deck, and have rendered the roof door unsafe now for the homeowner and unacceptable for the city of White Rock. So we felt that we needed to respond to this and provide a safer option for the homeowner to access their roof deck, and so we are here proposing an option of a stair vestibule as our solution, and this is illustrated in this image here. So I wanted to emphasize that and it's quite apparent in these images that the proposed vestibule height pales in comparison to the zoning compliant elements that surround them and are considered exempt from the maximum height restrictions, such as the architectural monument, which is this what we refer to as the blue sail. This extends 7.75 meters beyond the maximum height. The elevator shaft and stair overrun and mechanical enclosure, which extends approximately 1.9 meters beyond the maximum height. And our proposed stair vestibule will extend 1.54 meters or 5 feet. So this is the illustration here of what we're proposing. It's basically a stair vestibule that comes up, allows the occupant to come up, have a landing at the top, and come out and access their rooftop. So this is just, I'll run through a few of these. This is the 26th floor, which is the penthouse unit. These, there's 3 penthouses here. And these are the 3 stairs that need rooftop access. So the stairs extend out onto the roof decks, and we've tried to design them as part of this outdoor kitchen element. And then this is a view of the rooftop. We've defined the areas of the roof hatch or the roof vestibule that extends beyond the maximum height in red, and we've provided a slope so that we minimize the amount of volume that is actually extending beyond that maximum height. So, for example, in Penthouse Vestibule 1 and Vestibule 2, there's only 8.45 square meters or 91 square feet of area footprint that extends beyond that maximum height. And for vestibule number 3, there's approximately 8 square meters or 86 square feet square foot footprint that extends beyond that maximum height. So the following slides just show details of each of the penthouse vestibule stairs. So this is the kitchen that I was referring to. The penthouse stair kind of pops up behind. We've got a slope roof that reflects some of the slopes up on the monument, but also it reduces the volume that actually protrudes beyond that maximum height. Again, as previously mentioned, I think these stair vestibules pale in comparison to these surrounding elements, such as the architectural monument, the blue sail. Again, the blue sail extends 7.75 feet beyond that maximum height. And if you can't see it, this is the maximum height line here. And then this is our proposed increase. And then and here you can see the mechanical screen in behind, which also extends up beyond the maximum height. This would be penthouse stair number 2, same kind of relationship. We have the outdoor kitchen and the stair vestibule pops up. Again, it's quite insignificant of a massing in comparison to the blue sail and the mechanical screen around it. And this is the third one. This is dashed in from behind, but again, it's a fairly insignificant increase in height compared to its surroundings. And that concludes the presentation. Thanks for attending this evening. If there's any questions, please forward them, I guess, to Greg.
Yeah, thank you, Sandro. And maybe what I'll do, just to kick off the Q&A, I see we have 5 people in attendance. A couple people have, looks like, come and gone. So I'm just going to share my screen again. So for those that are in attendance, if you want, we have there's a little button in the screen that you can see. Hopefully it identifies a little caption with a question mark. So if you want to type in your questions at this point, you're welcome to do so. The questions will pop up on our end. We'll try to respond to each question in turn. And then, like I say, if we have time, we can go through the presentation again. I would also just want to point out that if you do want to provide more fulsome written comments on the application, we have a digital feedback form that you can find at the link here on the screen. So whiterockcity.ca/calendar. So if you go to today's event details, essentially following the path that you took to get here tonight, you'll find there's also a digital feedback form available, and you can complete that. Those feedback forms will certainly form part of a future report to council, so it's a valuable tool in getting your feedback on the record. As I mentioned, if you have additional questions or comments that come out of tonight, you're welcome to send me an email and I'll try to respond to those with support from the applicant. So we'll give it maybe 5 minutes and see if we get a couple questions, and if we do, we'll respond to those, and if we don't, Sandra, we can probably go through the presentation one more time. So I can see we have 5 people joining us tonight. So if anyone has any questions, please The floor is yours. Sandra, seeing there are no immediate questions and if a couple people have left, I would maybe suggest we go through the presentation briefly one more time, and we'll wait 5 or so minutes after that, and if there are questions we'll respond, and if not, I think we could potentially close the meeting a bit earlier, and if anyone follows up afterwards, I can send them a direct link to the recorded meeting. So if you want to share your screen again, I'm not sure if you're able to make it full screen.
Is that better? Right?
Yep, that looks good.
Okay. So I'm Sandro Mancini from Chikosi Architecture. I wanted to present our submission for a development variance permit for the Soleil mixed-use project located in the southeast corner of Johnston Road and North Bluff Road. This project is currently under construction. The project was granted a development permit in May of 2018 with no variances requested. The project was 100% in compliance with White Rock's zoning conditions and area design guidelines. Its zoning is a CR1 town center area commercial residential zone. It falls under the town center development permit area in the OCP area design guidelines. The maximum allowable FSR is 5.4, which we're meeting, and the maximum allowable building height per the CR1 zoning is 80.7 meters. Our development variance permit request is for a minor increase to the maximum height to allow a change of access for 3 penthouse units to their private decks. How do I switch here? So the height increase will be approximately 1.54 meters or 5 feet beyond the maximum allowable zoning height of 80.7 meters. This would increase the maximum height to 82.24 meters and this would be limited to the proposed stair vestibules. There has always been access to these private rooftops, but our previous proposal submitted for building permit in 2018 was to provide rooftop access using a roof door or access hatch, as is illustrated in this image here. The roof door has typically been an appropriate code compliant mechanism for accessing private rooftops like this one. This has been used numerous times on projects throughout the Lower Mainland and around the world, for that matter. But as of recently, within the last year or so, this has become less acceptable in the Vancouver area, as is the case here in White Rock. This change in acceptability came because of instances where some individuals have injured themselves navigating the stairs, threshold of the stair and landing from their roof deck. And this has rendered the roof door unsafe for the homeowner and unacceptable for the city of White Rock. So we felt that we needed to respond to this and provide a safer option for the homeowner to access their private roof deck. And so we are proposing the option of a stair vestibule as our solution. And that's illustrated in this second image. So the roof vestibule will come up and you'll have sort of 7-8 feet up here and have easy access to your roof deck. So I wanted to emphasize with these images that the proposed vestibule height pales in comparison to other zoning complying elements that surround it and are considered exempt from the maximum height restrictions, such as the architectural monument that we refer to as the blue sail, and this extends 7.75 or 25 feet beyond the maximum height. The elevator shaft and stair, elevator shaft overrun and stair and mechanical screen, which extends 1.9 meters beyond the maximum height. Our proposal will extend 1.54 or 5 feet beyond the maximum height. So this is level 26. There's 3 penthouse units, and these are the stairs that that we will be providing access to the rooftop from. This is the rooftop deck, and these are the stairs that will extend onto the rooftop in these 3 areas, and are designed to integrate the penthouse outdoor kitchen in all 3 instances. This is a rooftop diagram. Here we're illustrating that the stairs, that we're illustrating the amount of rooftop that does extend beyond the maximum height. It's rendered here in red. So in penthouse vestibule 1 and 2, there's approximately 8.45 square meters or 91 square feet footprint that extends beyond the maximum height. And in penthouse 3 vestibule, it's approximately 8 square meters or 86 square feet square foot footprint that extends beyond the maximum height. So the following slides just show the individual penthouse stair vestibules. So where we're showing a partially sloped roof in order to minimize the amount of volume that extends beyond the maximum height. And as previously mentioned, the height of these vestibules pales in comparison to the other zoning compliant elements that are exempt from the maximum height restrictions, such as the architectural monument or the blue sail, as we refer to it, and the mechanical screen in behind here, which extends 1.9 meters or 6'3" beyond the maximum height. Our proposal, as mentioned earlier, will extend 1.54 or 5 feet beyond the maximum height. So this is an illustration of penthouse 1 and the various elevations and sections around it. This is an illustration of penthouse 2. Again, you see the monument and the mechanical screen beyond that that extend beyond the top of the stair vestibule. And this is penthouse 3, same kind of image. We've got to the top of the roof and then the mechanical screen in behind here, which extends beyond that, the top of our roof. And that's the end of the presentation. Thank you for coming this evening.
Thank you, Sandro. And again, I'm just happy to open it up to comments. We have 4 attendees joining us tonight at this point. So please, if you wish to provide comments in the comment function, we'll stick around for 10 or so minutes and see if we get comments, and I'm happy to then kind of relay what the next steps would be. Perhaps while we wait for a comment, I can just say that moving forward, the next step would be to receive the feedback that we get from tonight's meeting and work with the applicant on any changes that we might need to consider. And then staff would be putting a report in front of the city's Land Use and Planning Committee recommending that the application be referred to a public meeting. So we would give notice of a public meeting and host a public meeting in front of council, and so there's an opportunity for members of the public to call in and first register to speak and then call into the meeting itself to offer their feedback on the proposal direct to council. And then from that, council would have the opportunity at their next regular meeting to render a decision to approve or deny or defer the development variance permit. So that's sort of where we are in terms of next steps. I suspect we would have a report in front of the Land Use and Planning Committee in the later part of March with the potential for a public meeting in April. So at this point, we'll just, the proponent and myself will stick around for 10 or 15 minutes and just see if there are any questions. So if there are any questions, please feel free to ask, and we will otherwise close the meeting. And just want to acknowledge we were down to 2 attendees, and I see we now have 3 attendees, so we might have someone new joining us. So just for if in the event that we do have someone that's just joined us, we've just completed a presentation and we've opened up the floor to comments and questions. If you would like us to go through the presentation again, we're happy to do that. We do have a fairly limited audience tonight, so please feel free to use the chat bar if you'd like us to walk through the proposal again. Oh, I have a question here from Anonymous, so perhaps someone just joining us now. Sandro, since we have the time, if you want to go through the proposal very briefly one last time, I think it would be worthwhile for the new attendee just to get an awareness of the proposal. Certainly feel free to keep it high level, and we can spend time on questions if there are any.
Sure. Is it? Oh, I got to share it again, or?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And you might have to turn your volume up or get closer to the mic. It's just a little quiet.
Okay. Can you hear me, Greg?
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Let me just go back to the beginning here. Okay. My name is Sandro Mancini. I'm an architect at Chiposi Architecture, and I'm going to present our development permit variance. Again, just the project is currently under construction. It was granted development permit in May 2018 with no variances requested. The project is 100% compliant with White Rock zoning conditions and area design guidelines. It meets all the FSR and all the zoning requirements and OCP area guidelines. And it is the allowable maximum height is 80.7 meters. Our development variance permit request is for a minor increase to the maximum height to allow a change of access from the 3 penthouse units on level 26 to their private decks. The height increase will be approximately 1.54 meters or 5 feet beyond the maximum allowable height of 80.7, as is illustrated here. This is the maximum height. And this would increase the maximum height to 82.24, and this would be limited to the proposed stair vestibules only. There has always been access to these rooftops, private rooftops, but our previous proposal, which was submitted as part of a building permit in December 2018, was to provide rooftop access using a roof door or an access hatch, which is illustrated in this first image. There's the access hatch in behind. The roof door has typically been an appropriate code compliant mechanism for accessing private rooftops, like the one we've shown here. This has been used numerous times on projects throughout the Lower Mainland and around the world. But as of recently, within the last year or so, this has become less acceptable in the Lower Mainland, and as is the case in White Rock. This change of acceptability came because of instances where individuals have injured themselves navigating the stairs, thresholds, and landings from their rooftop deck, and have rendered the roof door unsafe for a homeowner and unacceptable in the city of White Rock. We felt that we needed to respond to this and provide a safer option for the homeowner to access their private roof deck, and so we are here proposing the option of the stair vestibule as our solution, as illustrated in this image here. I wanted to emphasize that, and it's quite apparent in these images, that the proposed vestibule and height increase pales to, in comparison to the elements that are zoning compliant elements that surround the stair vestibule, such as the architectural monument or the blue sail, which extends 7.75 meters beyond the maximum height. And then the elevator shaft and mechanical screen, which is illustrated right here, which extends 1.9 meters beyond the maximum height. Our stair vestibule, proposed stair vestibule will extend 1.54 meters or 5 feet beyond the maximum height. This is the penthouse level, and these are the 3 units that require access to the rooftop, and these are the 3 stairs that will be providing that access. This is the roof deck, and these are the stairs that extend into the roof deck area, and they've been designed to be a part of these outdoor kitchens. And this is the rooftop, and this illustrates in red the area that is extending beyond the maximum height. So in Penthouse 1 and Penthouse 2, the area or footprint is approximately 8.45 square meters or 95 square feet. And in Penthouse 3, illustrated in red here, it's approximately 8 square meters or 86 square feet. So the following slides show the individual penthouse vestibules in section and elevations. And you'll see that we've sloped back the roof to minimize the volume that's actually extending up into the beyond the maximum height. And again, as previously mentioned, the stair vestibule really does pale in comparison to the other elements around it, such as the architectural monument, which is the blue sail that extends up here, and the mechanical screen, which you can see faintly in behind here. And this is the case for the other 2 penthouse stairs. This is Penthouse Stair 2. Same thing. It's the monument is quite a bit more significant than this the stair vestibule. And again, Penthouse Stair 3. That's the end of the presentation. If there's any questions.
Thank you, Sandro. 3rd time's a charm for sure. Yeah, we have 1 attendee, so if the individual has any questions, we're happy to respond to those. And maybe what I'll do is just quickly share my screen as well.
Sure.
And so if there are no questions, I just want to acknowledge that the we do have 1 comment. So thank you. It's an attractive building. It looks like that point in the screen. The architectural feature in the screen nearby are higher than the stairwell. Why is the variance needed for the stairs, but not the screen and the point? And I can respond to that. So the zoning bylaw acknowledges that there's some necessity to the screening of rooftop mechanical equipment as sort of a fairly common component to building design. So the zoning bylaw gives an exemption for those features. It also acknowledges the inclusion of architectural monuments as an architectural feature on buildings, and it's given an exemption for those. There's not an exemption, though, for stair towers that would provide access to the roof, as is being proposed here. So it does seem a little unnecessary, given the fact that the bylaw does allow for other structures to have a greater height than the height of the building. And as Sandro Mancini, the architect, has pointed out, the features that exist on the building or will ultimately exist on the building would project beyond the height of the stair tower that's being proposed. So it's an important consideration as we continue our review of the application. So I'll publish that comment. So in terms of next steps, we do have an online digital feedback form. So if you do want to complete the form, please do. It's available via the link there. If you click on tonight's event details, you can get access to the digital feedback form, and we'll share those completed forms with both the applicant and ultimately with council. In terms of next steps, we'll take the feedback that we get from tonight. We'll prepare a draft development variance permit, present that to the city's land use and planning committee, and then ultimately there is a public meeting that would be scheduled likely in April to further discuss the project and to have people that are interested provide their comments direct to council. So with that, we'll just leave the floor open to comments and questions as we kind of wrap up the meeting.